What's up, Hans?
Not much. Let's do our intro. Alright, it was skipping a little bit. I'll edit that later.
You look uh,
um,
you look a little grainy. How do I look?
you look pretty sexy.
Good.
It'll record high definition. Just when it's streaming, it records low definition, but then it'll come out higher end because we're sponsored by.
We're sponsored by Riverside. I'm gonna be in the back.
Can you hear it or no?
Hear what? Should
That
I
song
just
I
be
was just
getting
playing,
ready
or
in
can
the
only I hear
bathroom
it?
the whole time?
Yeah.
Powered by
Sponsored.
Riverside FM.
Yeah.
Can you hear that? Okay, cool. Yeah, so today we have on, well, first of all, we have really big news. We are having the shaman on.
Yes.
The America shaman, the guy who stormed the Capitol on January
He doesn't
6th.
like being called the QAnon shaman, though. He rejects that.
Well, yeah, he's called America shaman on Twitter, and his name is Jake Enns.
I listened to his.
Yeah, he's gonna come on. He's running for Senate.
I listened to his live Twitter thing today.
What'd you listen to?
His live Twitter thing today was crazy. It was awesome. Like I'm pumped for this interview.
Yeah, I got to ask a question. I got to ask a question on his live Twitter yesterday. It's
really
awesome.
awesome.
I asked about what people are gonna do once we unleash free energy to everyone, and he just said people would really have more time to do what they need to do. You know? Oh yeah, baby. That looks really good, Wallstreet bitch. But anyway. We're having America Shaman on this Sunday, December 10th. So get ready. If you have any questions, email us at Baptize Machine Podcast or give us a tweet around.
Yeah, tweet them up.
But yeah, so that's going to be a really exciting episode for us. Wallstreet bitches in Texas.
So I flew to Texas for this interview.
I hope you get the job.
No, for the interview with the shaman.
Oh,
yeah, but it's just because I know he likes Texas.
All right, yeah, everything's bigger in Texas. But a shaman promo, and then we'll introduce tonight's guest. So we have the QAnon shaman, Jake Chansley, coming on. Reach out if you have any questions. He's been to prison. He stormed the Capitol. He's now running for Congress on a campaign where he's not accepted any donations, which is pretty interesting.
His name is Jacob, right? Because he disowns the QAnon shaman name, which I respect. And I just want to say,
he goes by America Shaman, Jake.
One thing that's fascinating about the QAnon shaman, or Jacob, is that the government, the deep state and the government picked him to put on the front page of every single newspaper in the world, having no idea how well-spoken and intellectual and spiritual this dude is. Now he's blown up because they were trying to make fun of Trump. Now he has a whole following, and he's got a message. He's got a strong message. So it's just cool.
And so today we're interviewing a conservative Republican. I was like, do you have a list of topics? And she didn't give me any. She's at Liberty Antigon on Twitter.
Oh,
let me
we're
just
interviewing
share
her? Awesome.
Yeah, let me just share her kind of most famous tweet. So I'm sharing my screen. Hopefully you'll be able to see it.
She has a famous tweet.
Okay. So it says, well, this is her pinned tweet right now. Forbidden personal tools during the 90s was an effort to raise a generation who are terrified of the mere presence of personal firearms because the only exposure they have with arms is never-ending series of violent and tragic shootings in schools. It's hard for some of them to conceive guns don't kill people, people kill. Because possessing a gun is innately violent, you can only want to hurt another just by owning personal protection. So I suppose we could talk about guns for one thing. We could talk about the presidential election. I was thinking of doing a segment where I could just
We
join.
talked about the debate last night. That was a good debate.
Yeah, it says she's in here. I don't see her. Let me send her a new link. We could talk about last night's debate. I didn't.
Hello?
Did you watch it? Or did you watch it? The debate
No,
last night?
not yet.
No?
I watched all the highlights though, like Vivek going hard and all that stuff.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, but I was also thinking I'll do a segment where I'm gonna chat GPT and say, give me questions to ask a liberal or a conservative lady, a conservative Twitter lady on a podcast.
and wait, I also have a list of the questions that those Biden supporters sent in.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we could read those too.
We've got a good amount. So.
Yeah, hopefully she'll be in here soon. Let's see. I still don't see her.
How has your week been, Hans? I miss you.
It's been
good?
I miss you too. How's the weather in Tejas?
Dude, no, it's perfect weather. Perfect weather. Yeah, I'm in Austin, Texas for anyone who's been here, and it's awesome. It's beautiful.
Have you been seeing some music or?
No, not yet. I've been working every day, but hopefully this weekend I'll be able to see some music on Saturday. I want to try to find Joe Rogan, the Podfather, Joe Rogan, you know.
Are you gonna find him? And
That'd be great
for us.
Imagine if I got a Joe Rogan interview.
I don't know why she's having such a hard time joining.
Here, this is what I look like, guys.
Hopefully. Oh, you look so handsome tonight. Oh, here she is. All right.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey, welcome, CD. I'm Hans. This is the Wallstreet bit.
Hey, y'all.
He's traveling right now in Texas, so that's why he's going to be a little bit on the move for this episode.
No biggie. Sorry about that. I was like in there and I was like, man, I better let him know.
Yeah, no worries.
This is a new thing we're using, but it seems to be working pretty good. So yeah. How is your day going? Do you want to maybe start by giving yourself a little bit of an introduction? I honestly don't know too much about you, so.
Yeah, sure. So I'm CD. I'm a Florida transplant from Louisiana, born and raised, and I live in central coastal Florida now. I'm married, no kids. I'm not like Twitter famous or anything. I've just been on there for a long time and made a lot of famous friends.
Yeah.
But I'm big into politics. I graduated college in political science and economics. So politics and economics are my thing. My first real job as an adult, I was a campaign manager in local campaigns. I ran 5. I won 3 out of 5.
What offices?
For mayor president. So it was a consolidated parish in Louisiana.
Nice.
And 3 city parish council members. So they were, they're over a bigger population. The 2 that didn't win was sheriff. That was a big heartbreak for me. I put a lot into that one. I raised, not single-handedly, but I was responsible for raising $750,000 for a sheriff's race.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, it was insane.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And he was conservative, very, small town chief of police. And we lost to a rich lawyer, rich lawyer. Yeah, so stupid. Anyway, but I've done all kinds of things. I'm about to start teaching here in Florida. That's what I've done a lot of things to come to that. And my main thing now, I've been in the liberty movement. I've been a libertarian with Ron Paulian. The Libertarian Party is a disaster. So I can't. I support all my brothers and sisters in it and fighting that good fight, but I can't. So my hill is kids. It's protecting kids.
What age are you going to be teaching?
junior high and high school.
Nice. I saw your tweet about personal protection and guns in schools. I actually used to be a middle school teacher too myself.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Do you think you'll carry? Are you allowed to? Where you live, you're allowed to carry as a teacher, but you just will anyway.
I think it's gray area, and I think, but I absolutely will.
You're just gonna like don't ask.
I plan to keep a safe in my
room, with the amount of shootings in schools, like
yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah,
I just want to protect them. And if they fire me for that, I will go to. With this face, I will go to the media. I will go to every.
No, I'm sure you'll have some serious support for that. Like, I'm sure a lot of teachers will request you, or a lot of parents would request you as a teacher for their kids. Yeah,
because they know I'm.
Yeah, to protect.
And I'll get certified. Like I plan to get like hella certified, like in like tactical training.
All the safety precautions you can take.
All the safety stuff. Yeah. So like, if that were to happen, it's like, I know what to tell them. I know how to keep them calm. I know how to keep myself calm. I know how to, let a motherfucker come in my classroom.
So it is your most prominent issues surround kids. I know in Florida, there's been over the past year or two, there's been a myriad of new educational laws that affect kids. Were you involved in promoting any of those, or is that why you moved to Florida?
Not.
Cool.
That is why I moved to Florida.
Oh, wow.
I moved here January 27th of this year. And, a big reason was my now husband, but a big part was, definitely, being able to teach here. So, and the new laws that were passed, a big one for me personally was, by law, a teacher can only refer to a student as their gender on their birth certificate.
Oh.
So it is against the law in Florida. If a student came to me and said, "Oh, well, I'm a cat," it's like, well, your birth certificate says you're a boy, Mr. Smith. So
really, I didn't realize that.
You can't just be like, meow, Felix.
Yeah, Garfield. No, we're not doing that. So that's a new law that was passed this year. The quote unquote don't say gay. That was a big draw. But then there's just like a lot of protections for teachers in the classroom. One of them being, the gender stuff. If you see something, you have the protection to say something, which I like. So like if I do see a teacher trying to bring some crazy book or teach some crazy thing, like, I have the right to say something and I'm protected, which in a lot of states.
What's like the craziest book you've seen or taught? Oh, yes.
Oh, it's the, to me, it's the, what's it called? The one with all the graphics about how to prep your anus for anal sex.
That's a real book?
Oh, what's it?
I haven't seen that one. I don't even.
I'll think of the name. It's but yes, it
was actually being taught in schools.
Well, it's not being taught. It's in libraries.
Oh, okay.
And kids can check it out. No.
Okay.
So far in Florida, there is DeSantis has done. If I give him any credit for anything, it's his Board of Education, his state Board of Education, not him particularly, but the people he has underneath him who, they got all new textbooks in the last 3 years that are, by the book. It's no nonsense, none of that. So if a teacher is caught doing something, which they are, and they still do, but if a teacher is caught doing that, it's not a textbook. Which is why you have grounds to fire them, because it's not in the curriculum.
So are you still supporting DeSantis right now? Sorry, Hans, I cut you off.
Oh no.
No, you're good.
I never supported DeSantis for president. He's a great governor, and I think he's done well for Florida, especially during COVID. But ever since he started this presidential run,
I agree.
Who are you supporting now
for president?
Yeah,
none of them. I guess
to
if
your
you
head,
put a
you
gun,
have to
you
pick
put a
a
gun in my head.
presidential. Yeah, read my
I,
mind.
I, at this point, it would have to be Vivek.
Yeah, did you watch his the debates
Right.
last night? He was on fire.
Oh yeah, we were watching it back and forth. Me and my husband, we were going between. It's December, y'all, so it's 25. It's 25 nights of joy and Christmas movies. Torturing him.
Oh, yeah.
But so in between the Christmas movies and wrestling, Wednesday night is AEW wrestling. We are big wrestling fans. So we were watching. So yes, we were watching the debate like in between the fights and movies, and oh my gosh, he did a great job. I just think I think having someone up on that stage just saying those
I know,
things,
right? He said a few different things that
I need to watch it.
He pretty much like stated a few things that everyone was just shocked. Like he talked about what were they? I forget.
So he called Nikki Haley a neocon, and the main thing that was like going around immediately was the Ukraine. He said these two people are Nikki Haley is asking this country to send its sons and daughters to a country to fight a war in a place where they can't even name a single.
And she couldn't name it. She couldn't name a province. Yeah.
She looked like this.
Yeah.
like it was deer in headlights, and then Chris Christie went to White Knight.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Shut it down! Get off this stage, fat man! Why are you even here?" And so calling them straight up neocons, and then he said that the Great Replacement is not a conspiracy theory; it is a liberal agenda, and these people on this stage do not fight against it. I'm the only one willing to say what this is. So, these are things that we've said forever. I've been involved in politics for a long time.
Yeah, when did you start getting into politics? Like, what drove you into, the field, getting involved with people? Oh, cool.
All my life. My family was heavy in politics and local politics going back by generations.
Your family was liberal, and then what made you become conservative?
No.
Oh, so you kind of grew into it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very, very, very ultra conservative.
So
I'm actually considered liberal compared to my family.
What elements of you are considered liberal that your family judges you for being liberal?
I'm anti-war.
Okay. I feel like everyone should be anti-war. Yeah.
Right. Everyone should be. I'm like, I don't know why we have to kill babies. And so in other countries, weird. And I, believe in I teeter-totter between the full-on. I believe in decriminalization of most drugs. I go back and forth on that because then that would mean like more, like how much more state involvement, and I'm pretty just anti-state in general. So they're like, without the government, what would we do? And I'm like, we would exist. We would exist.
So what is your view of what's going to go down in the next year? Because right now the country is so divided that the left and the right actually believe separate facts about things. So no matter what is said about Trump or what is said about Biden, the other side doesn't believe it. So do you see this going down a road where like civil war, or like what are your thoughts about the 2024 election? Like what's actually going to happen?
So I've said for a long, long time that Trump wouldn't make it past New Hampshire, not because he doesn't have the support, but because they're trying to keep him off the ballot. Which is why I believe, yes. Maybe at this point, now that the charges have been all but, dismissed or dropped, they're pretty much gone. But I said whenever all these charges started to come up, I was like, that's because they're trying to keep him off the ballot. It's not about discrediting him. It's not about any of that. This is to keep, because in some states, and a lot of states, if you have federal indictments against you.
Yeah, they're doing that to RFK Jr. too. They're
And they're doing exactly. So they're using the DOJ as they're weaponizing the DOJ. You guys know all that. So that's why I think Vivek Ramaswamy he never says anything bad about Trump because he is either going to be the vice presidential pick or he's going to be the one that gets on the ballot, and he's going to be the mouthpiece for the Trumpers.
Yeah.
And then I also think that your Democratic candidate, if that's the case, either way, I think at this point, I've said before that if Trump gets on the ballot, then it would be Gavin Newsom. But now I'm just convinced that Biden will not be your Democratic candidate.
I agree.
Gavin Newsom. And if that is the case, because of what you said, Moses, because we have people who just believe a different set of facts. We don't have facts. We just have opinion, and we have.
And Newsom's been groomed, I feel like, Newsom, to take this.
Oh, since he was in college, dude, since he was 17, 18 years old, and even before that, but since he was in college, look at him, listen to him.
Yeah.
How he
He's
can
got like that. He sounds like
and he also has been Biden's like strongest supporter this whole time. Like he's always praising Biden. So I just feel like he's doing that for a reason.
And dude, liberals in New Jersey take him as Jesus. They take his word as gospel. If Gavin Newsom says it, it's gospel.
You know,
that's crazy.
So I do think against Trump. Trump is the only one with the money who can fight them.
So where do you think this Trump all these indictments go? Do you think they're just trying to bankrupt him and keep him away from the ballot for as long as possible? Because it has only grown his support. And do you think they must have known that would happen? Like, I don't know. It's only gotten Trump more popular, which is like so funny
100%.
To see.
Yes. And
you think they did know?
And yes. Because his following is cultish, which is fine. I'm not knocking.
Yeah, they're ride or die, though. Yeah,
I'm not. They're ride or die, and you're gonna need that. You're gonna need that in this war. So I'm glad we have them. At least they don't think that you should cut little kids' penises off. Like I'm just down with that. But I do think that this is all an attempt, like you said, to keep him off the ballot as long as possible. This has nothing to do with sending him to jail.
Yeah.
Donald Trump is never going to jail.
And what would that even look like?
Stupid.
Like that
he's never going to jail.
That wouldn't even make sense. Yeah.
Be a high-end jail.
That's not happening. It is all to bankrupt, like you said, to bankrupt him like you can.
Yeah.
And like money. It's like Elon Musk said, you're trying to blackmail me with money. Please.
Yeah.
And so, I just think that. But they will try and keep him off the ballot. But that's why you have Vivek Ramaswamy. Because they will just throw every bit of money. And Ronna, there's this whole campaign against Ronna, which is real. That is real because she has been against Trump and the Trump machine and the MAGAs since forever. And she has done her job. Just like the DNC did their job when it was Hillary and Bernie. She has done her job in discrediting the MAGA. Like to where there's like Republicans, there's the Nikki Haley's, and we are the people of the party.
Yeah.
And then there's MAGA. Y'all are the same. Y'all are the same R's.
Interesting.
Y'all are the same R's.
Yeah.
But she wants to separate them. And so there's been a campaign against Ronna within the Republican Party since 2020. And Vivek Ramaswamy, being the parrot of Donald Trump, is going after her. No one knew her name. Unless you knew party politics, no one knew her name before a few weeks ago. And now everyone wants her head on.
Yeah, she did get an early... sorry. Are you talking about Nikki Haley or the head of the RNC? Okay.
Ronna McDaniel.
The head of the RNC.
Yeah, I cannot see her keeping that position for much longer.
So a MAGA person will be the one that follows.
Oh, God.
Me. Mark my words. And when that happens, all the money, because no one wants to give to the Republican Party right now because they don't believe that the Republican Party is going to support Donald Trump.
Oh, wait. So that's fascinating. So what you're saying is this is the two factions in the Republican Party have been warring essentially for that position. And because of Vivek and like the MAGA party, MAGA is soon going to have control over the whole RNC.
This is if you go back in history, which my favorite part of political history in America is the 12 years leading up to the Civil War. I'm a daughter of the Confederacy. You can see when the Whigs and the Republicans went to battle and they split. You can see you're seeing this now. You're seeing this now.
Yeah.
And
totally.
the break is the Republican Party is going to either, like I said, the only way that it can not even come together, like the old neocons of the Cold War and that thinking goes away, is if a MAGA person becomes the leader of the RNC. Otherwise, you are going to see a split in the Republican Party, and it's going to look very different. There will be a third party that is established, and it will drain the Republican Party because people will donate to that. And the only people still going to Republican rallies are neocon old men who don't like Trump for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And white women.
Yeah, so I guess I have a two-part question next, and then the Wallstreet bitch, or he's named himself Moses here, but he got kicked out. He might soon. Yeah. So the first part is, if you could pick any fictional character to be president in 2024, who would you pick? We ask any guest this that talks politics what fictional character they would pick for president. In the past, we've gotten Garfield to run Italy, but
Dumbledore.
Why?
Oh, because he's like really old, but he's not a geriatric patient.
Okay.
So I don't mind an older person. I can respect an older person's wisdom.
That's fair.
But he's not a geriatric, and he unites people. That's what he does. And I'm all for civil war. I don't like war, but I understand that we can't sustain this way. So, it's gonna happen one way or the other.
You think a civil war is gonna happen here?
I think one day Texas will get the balls to secede.
Yeah.
I think one day they'll get the balls to do it. I don't know if they'll be successful, but I think one day they will say. I think 4 years of Gavin Newsom might push them, and because Gavin Newsom will punish Texas, he will actively punish Texas, and when that day comes.
I mean, if he wants to win them over, he should do the opposite. But people are not smart, so.
He will people, especially voters. Oh my God. Oh, if you've ever talked to people, I mean, I know we see like videos and stuff of people, but people are stupid.
Yeah.
It breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. I was running a sheriff's race, right? Like I was running a sheriff's race, and they were during 2016.
Yeah.
And I would have people call me, does he believe in abortion? And I'm like, what? Who? He's Catholic, so probably not. But what does that have to do with him being the sheriff of this parish?
Yeah.
Well, ask a real question. Call me back with a real question. Bye.
He doesn't make those rules, so.
He doesn't make those. It has nothing to do with that. What was your other question?
Yes, I thought we could end, unless Wallstreet bitch comes back, but and then we're gonna try to have you on to debate someone after this down the road. Probably not until next year because it's getting pretty busy.
Yeah, for sure.
But so we have a list of some Joe Biden supporter questions that were sent in to us that we thought we could ask.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Okay.
Shoot.
Okay. So the first of the Joe Biden question we got is, how do conservative principles align with addressing pressing challenges such as climate change and environmental conservation? So I guess they're asking, how do your principles as a conservative align with any sort of climate change or environmental movements or conservation efforts?
It should fall on the responsibility. First of all, that is not a government thing to employ. That's not a government thing. The government should not. So we don't align.
So you
with
would,
the government being
you
involved.
would abolish the EPA then?
100%. It's like number 5 on my list.
Yeah.
And so if a company wants to make that part of their mission to be whatever, well, then that falls with the private company and its customers. So no, I don't think I align at all with climate. Climate change isn't real. So
okay, cool. Even though you're in Louisiana with like the floods there and hurricanes and stuff, you're not really worried. You don't think that's really. You think that's always gonna happen?
It's always gonna happen.
Yeah,
the water's always gonna be hot. The water gets hot some years. The water's not so hot some years. It just. I mean, if the world is heating up, it's because it's supposed to.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't think that a company, putting out fumes heats up the world any more than what it's already gonna do anyway.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah, I have no idea. So, all right, we'll move on to the next question. But thanks for your answer. Oh, here's a good one actually, because we were talking about this earlier. Okay, so actually, no, I don't like that question. In the context of immigration, how do conservatives balance border security concerns with providing a pathway to citizenships for undocumented immigrants already living in the U.S.?
Okay, first part of that question would be...
Welcome back, Wallstreet bitch. We're talking immigration right now.
Cool.
So the first part of that question is, it falls on the state, period. It falls on the border state for them to, I believe in defend the guard, and so they shouldn't go to war. They should be defending their borders. And they should have every right and all the equipment and everything to defend their borders, period. I don't think that should fall on the U.S. military. I don't think that taxpayers in Maryland should have to pay for Texas' border. I think Texas should be able to defend its border however it feels like it wants to. And if New Mexico wants, and then that way, if New Mexico wants to let them all in, well, Texas can defend itself.
Yeah.
So I don't think that the federal government should be involved in that, unless like something really bad happens. And I guess maybe we as a country could vote on it, just like we should every war. But
okay.
Okay. And then the second part of that, road to citizenship for undocumented immigrants who are already here. Okay.
Yeah.
The same thing we've been doing. There's a test. You go take it. You get naturalized.
Do you think you would pass the test?
Yeah, I've taken it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I used to be a history teacher, but I've had many.
So that's I teach history and civics is my goal. One day I'll be in a civics classroom and that's where I'll make my home. But yeah, I've taken the test and I passed it.
Hell yeah.
So it's you just have to, if there's a will to freaking be here, there's a way, baby, and we've been doing it a long time.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's do like one or two more. Wallstreet bitch might have one too. If you do, just chime in, Moses. Cool.
Yeah, questions? I can pull up the list. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is fun.
Okay, so
I appreciate you coming on.
A question someone sent in is, what are your thoughts on global warming, climate change? Is it a hoax? I don't know if you guys covered that.
Well, we just did, but you can say it again. Yeah.
Yes. I think that the world heats up because the world's supposed to heat up. I don't think that Chrysler or GMC or Ford putting chemicals in the air makes it heat up anymore. Do I think they have a fiduciary responsibility to make sure that they're not like tainting water supplies and stuff? Yes. But to have such harsh EPA environmental restrictions on businesses who don't necessarily, have that as their mission, or otherwise it costs the customer 10 times more dollars in order to get their product because they have to follow the EPA, when other countries in this world produce way more pollution than any of ours ever did. And not that I'm saying America should be involved in that. I'm just saying, like,
yeah.
So yeah, do I think it's a hoax? Yes. Do I think it's a reason to raise taxes, to print money, to make it harder on businesses? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So did you hear Biden's statements today about the potential for sending troops to Ukraine? And if so, what are your thoughts about the next 3 months?
I did not, but we're sending more. Is that what he said?
No, he said if we don't come up with money, we might have to. That's what he said. It was sort of like a threat.
So dollars versus bodies?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what he said today, which is crazy.
You're anti-war, right, CD?
Yes. So that's disgusting. That's disgusting, and that's disgusting that the president of the United States is threatening their people with their sons and daughters. Oh, if we don't come up with the money. Well, first of all, y'all been printing money.
Yeah.
Y'all been printing. Why don't you just print some dollars? Why don't you just print some more? Like, I don't understand why we have like if you're that concerned, you print some more and just put it all on us anyway. So, what would the next 3 months look like? It would, if we don't come up with the money, which we will, they're going to print more. They're going to print more dollars, and that's going to be harder on the taxpayers. So if you thought your Christmas was tough this year, wait till this time next year if this bubble doesn't pop. And if we send bodies, no one will really know about it.
Yeah.
That's what I think. No one will really know.
Yeah.
If we sent both money and bodies, no one would know about the bodies.
Yeah, the media,
they would just know about the money.
The media does a good job hiding all of that shit, for sure.
Yeah, so you got to go dig.
Mm-hmm.
And it sucks, and I would hate it.
Yeah. Cool. One other one I had was, do you have any examples of successful conservative-led policies that have improved economic growth and job opportunities for all Americans, including marginalized communities? So, like,
including,
I guess, like, marginalized, like, people, marginalized, like, I guess, like, like immigrant communities or people of low income or people of minority background.
Okay. I think that I hate this question. Okay, so there's some I hate white women so much.
It's not from me. It's from a Biden.
No, I know, and you didn't make this up. A white woman did, or a trans person.
Yeah.
Okay. Conservative policies that improve the lives of everyone. Okay, So I don't think any economic policy in the history of America has ever collectively improved the lives of everyone. I think that's impossible. That's called communism.
Yeah.
And that doesn't improve the life. That just on paper would improve the lives of everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So that's socialism.
Yeah.
And okay, so you can't. Yeah, so that doesn't happen. But what has happened is the quality of life of marginalized people has improved drastically.
Yeah.
Since the Social Security Act.
Yeah.
Those same people, those same marginalized people have access to free schooling.
Okay.
So now we can argue the shittiness of public school. I'm not saying that it's great quality. I'm just saying they have access to it.
Yeah, it's relatively good if you look at the whole world, but
right.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So like a poor person in this country still can have an iPhone.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, so.
Yeah.
So conservative? No. I think that's a loaded question. It's a red herring.
Yeah.
And the only economic policy on paper that can ever improve the lives of everyone is socialism, and we all know that's only on paper.
Yeah.
So, fuck you.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm supposed to have this person who claims that they're a time traveler come on. So if you're interested, you're welcome to hang on and interview them with me. Because my co-host
I'm totally down.
is traveling.
I'm down. I'm down.
I'm just gonna take a minute and I'll be right back. And then in 1 minute I don't know if it's a woman or a man, but we'll see.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Hey Raven, how are you doing?
Good.
I'm Hans, and this is CD. She's filling in right now for my co-host,
Hey
who's
there.
out of town.
I just ate a handful of sunflower seeds before.
We caught you that. Big chew.
We'll give you like a little intro here. Sorry, that song never plays that well with the video, but welcome, Raven.
Hello.
Cool. So, I thought maybe you could just give yourself a little introduction. I met you in a time traveling group, and just curious about kind of what exactly your definition of time traveling is. If you any background you want to give on yourself, and then how it works for you, and then we could kind of go from there if that works for you. And thanks for coming on.
Thank you. So being human and just speaking in words themselves, everyone has their own definition of so many things. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, the most simplest one is love. How many humans have their own definition of what love is? And that word is so simple. And so when it comes to something such as time traveler, my definition and how I identify with that is, at first I didn't even know what was happening to me. So I call myself a time traveler. I will get into that, I guess, the definition. Yeah. What was the second? What was the other one?
I guess just like any background you want to share, and then just your definition of a time traveler, and then background. How you travel through time. But yeah, I think we're getting there with the background. So,
I feel like a lot of people want to know age, so I'm 43. I have 5 children. Mm-hmm. Those are usually things that people want to know.
Yeah, for sure.
That's about it.
Okay, cool. Thanks for sharing. So yeah, how does time travel? Like, what is time traveling? Like, are you able to physically move your body from one like a different year or different day to different day or different minute to different minute, like in the past or future? Like, what does that look like? I guess is what I'm trying to get into.
I do not know if I'm sure there are that can. I've stumbled across this. I didn't even know it was happening to me. It first started with like dreams. I'll just say dreams because I have there's so many different types of dreams, and I have different types of dreams. And so it started where it feels like a dream, when like you're dreaming, like you can tell when they're dreams, and then it splits off. Like all of a sudden it's almost like I become conscious in this dream, or like I'm almost like how you feel now is how you feel inside this dream.
You feel present in it, yeah.
And so it would transition from like dream to all of a sudden where it was like I was, like you said, like very present, and I felt like I was in this dream, and I was doing things, and I really wasn't sure what was. So it was kind of happening like throughout this time period, and then I had a dream, or I had this happen, and I was talking to my oldest daughter about it, and she started explaining things where we started kind of realizing we were having dreams about the same place.
Oh wow!
So then here, and these things are like, when I say dreams, like they're not really dreams. We're kind of taken out of them, but they're so like they're real short. We're not there for a long period of time.
Yeah. I'm
So then
curious.
another
Oh,
oh
sorry. I'm curious if you've ever heard of the term astral projection, and maybe it's like a type of that or something that you're experiencing. I don't
I have
know. You
no
know.
idea. Because then
Okay.
another told me, she's like, "Oh, I had this weird dream about you," and I didn't remember. Like all of a sudden, she was telling me that she was in this dream with me, and she was telling me what. All of a sudden, just this memory just like kicked in, and I was like, "Oh my god, I know what you're talking about." And we knew exactly what we were doing. We were together somewhere. Like where we go is just like this place here, and there's people, but it's not like here.
Hmm.
After I kept going to this place, it's always different places, but after I realized, because it's like I jump into this place, it's almost like nobody really knows like what I'm doing, but I'm very observant of everybody, and I know that I'm not here like in this time, or it's somewhere else. And it's like I'm not supposed to be there. I'm not supposed to be doing what I'm doing. I'm just there and I'm observing, and then all of a sudden I jump out. And so when my daughter started realize, we start comparing like notes, because we always wouldn't go together. Like we had it happen a couple times. But wherever this place is, it's okay. You know how, sorry, somebody just texted me. You know how people look at photos, like old photos, and you think you see like somebody who like, oh, there's a time traveler. That's
Yeah.
what I do through these dream states. Like I go to other places like that. So I also can communicate with like my guides, and so I'm always confused by terms. So I don't know other terms to use, but like psychic. And then I was looking up more, like I didn't know there's a difference between medium and being clairvoyant. So I can do all of those things. So those things help me. But in physical timeline, so in physical, the only way that there is no timeline here. Everything is all happening all at once.
Huh.
So we're all capable of being on our own timeline. And I only get this information from like my guides when I do jump to places.
Do you see your children grow up in like a linear timeline fashion, or is that jump for you too?
Well, it's because everything is all playing out at once.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything. You guys all on your timelines. Like like it's I don't know how to explain it. It's all happening all at once. And so because of that, we're able to work on our own timeline with like future, or like right now, present, and past, because it really isn't past or present. It's all really kind of happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I am not confusing, because I can be confusing.
CD,
I
do you
have
have
a
any
question.
questions? Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually just read a cool novel. So it's like not someone like you. It's a novel, but it was about a woman who was stuck in a time. She was going back in time because she was supposed to fix a wrong, and what she described. And so she kept going back, and it ended up like years going backwards. And eventually, every day that she would wake up and she would see what day it is, like there would be something a part of that day that she would have to learn in order to fix what happened years forward. So I thought that was really cool. But what she described, and I thought that the author maybe had done a lot of research on this, when she, like the moment that she realized something's off, that's all she could like really describe it as, is like she had this moment where she went to grab a door handle, a familiar door handle that she was, used to grabbing every single day. And all of a sudden she felt this pressure, like a sudden push is what it was described as. And it sent her into a state which she described as when you have like a light deja vu, but like it was real. like she was, and so it was like every day she would wake up and feel like I'm not supposed to be here, but I am here, and I do have a purpose here. So I was wondering, like, going back to like when you leave this time, when you leave this moment to go to another moment, does that describe it?
In waking state, like how I am right now, yes, you can. Yeah, like I can kind of understand like what you're talking about because it sounds familiar, and then there's like new things that I've never heard, and that's why I like
Wow.
reached out and said that, or like reached out to like you looking for a time traveler, because I feel like I'm very new to all this stuff.
Yeah.
To be able to hear other things or somebody else, other stories or whatnot, and try to even talk and say something that might help other people, because for a while I really did feel like I was going crazy. Sometimes I still do. Like sometimes I really, really do. I don't know if I'm, making it up, or it's no different than when you're in your house and you think you saw something walk past you, and your mind is like, oh, it was just a shadow, it was just this.
Or like you're laying in your bed and your closet's open a little and you're like, oh, is there a person in there?
Yeah,
I need to open it. Yeah.
And so I have these things that happen to me, and the mind is the first thing to be like, oh, it was this, oh, it was a dream, oh, it's just, you're just imagining things. I don't think so anymore. That's why I started to just really be like, I am a time traveler. Wherever I go in this dream state is just like this place with the same people. Everyone looks the same, but it's not. It's not. It's in the same earth as a dimension. So
yeah, it could be
it's
going
in
through
the
different
same
dimensions too.
Oh, okay. I don't know where they take me when I say they. I like, okay, my dream state is when I'm most active.
Oh, she'll be back.
Oh,
here.
There she is. You're good.
That's okay.
No worries. Yeah. It happens.
My dream state is where I'm most active, and I'm still learning during the waking state. The dream state is okay. I kind of quit jumping because after a while I could kind of almost like kind of do it. But what happened was wherever I was going, like when you had mentioned dimensions and whatnot, my guides had told me to kind of like chill out a little bit, because I was the way that they showed me, like they talked to me like through either talking in my head, but it's not a lot. I get pictures, words, feelings, all these different things. So basically they showed me like I'm just going through these portals, like, woo, like just like totally not like, and they told me to be careful because I still have a human form. I'm still jumping and going to places that I can't fully be protected by either my guides or even God. Our connection to source is very important here. So I kind of like got scared of it. So there's somebody else out there. There's more people that do this. Trying to find them, or to have people talk about it without having somebody judge you to think you're crazy, or judge you because maybe you watch some crazy movie, or other humans will always have excuses as to like why you're experiencing these things, and it kind of makes you want to like and not tell people. But I just,
it's a protective mechanism. That people, it's hard to empathy is connection, and when someone doesn't feel like they have anything to connect with you on, they'll protect themselves, and so they immediately go to like logic. So it's like, oh well, this is what this is. This must be what this is, because I cannot connect with that. So,
exactly.
So you must be crazy, and I am normal, and I have normal things. So, do you think it's like? Because golly, it sounds like the Matrix.
It does, yeah. It does sound like the Matrix.
That's basically what Earth Dimension is. There's to the movies that you see. Interstellar. Interstellar is, that is very true. That is very true. I remember watching Interstellar like years ago and just watching like, oh, that's cool. And then on my journey, whatever this path I'm on right now, and I'm watching that movie, I'm like, oh my gosh, like that makes sense to me, like certain things. And that, like, I watch these certain movies, I'm like, that's true. That's actually true. That's really true. You know, and everyone's just kind of used to me saying these things, but you know, no one really believes me. But it's very true. So
again, it's just hard for people to believe something that they can't logically make 2 and 2 equal 4. You know,
yeah,
it's just hard.
That, and this is a hard one, you know, because even myself, I don't believe certain, like I have a hard time even like 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 even trying to understand like what happened, because in my waking state I'm in constant like communication with like my guides, and just like I even like other people's energy sometimes. Oh, and spirits just show up to me too. I dealing with spirits, I learned, is just like dealing with humans. There are some spirits that are very rude, and they just come and they show up and they want you to like help them and do all these things, and you're just like, oh my gosh, like it's very overwhelming.
Sure.
So yeah, a lot of these things that I experience, that's the first thing that I even think myself, like maybe I'm imagining it. But the more and more I'm like, there's no, can I swear?
Yeah,
like,
we say whatever.
There's no fucking way.
I said, yeah, like it's my show.
Yeah, fuck yeah, you can swear. Yeah, we don't give a shit. Just when my dad listens, he goes, "You swear way too much on that podcast."
But yeah,
so, okay.
I feel like, you know, there's no fucking way that I'm imagining this, and there's other people that are experiencing, and like I said, I'm just beginning this. I'm just and hopefully I keep learning more from other people to be able to help others, because we can all work on our timelines while we're human, while we're here.
Yeah.
Because everything is all happening at once. I don't really know how to explain it. I wish I was better. Like I said, I'm at the beginning. Maybe like now I'll see what my growth is like. You know, but go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just, what are like, do you have any concerns around it as you grow into this practice, I guess you could call it?
Yeah, I'm kind of learning. I jumped in this very naively. And there are a lot of, because this is the earth dimension. This place is just a free for all. It's all about our choices, what we choose, our own mindset as humans.
Yeah.
You know, our mind is very powerful here. Very, very powerful. We can create and manifest a lot of things here. So just in that scariness of this dimension, branching off into other things can be scary, but very adventurous. You know,
Raven, I want to ask you, do you believe in good and evil?
Okay. Not really. Like the terms, you know, like good and bad, I guess, I don't no longer look at them as like something being good or bad or, you know, evil or something. Everything just is. It is what it is here on Earth.
Okay. Do you think it could be defined? Do you think that the further out you go into different dimensions, the more blurred it gets?
It's not blurred. It's more of there are other entities out there that are in a physical form that have their own free will and choices also.
Okay.
So I have encountered beings through my dream state. Well, I don't even know what the hell it was.
Sure.
Like
that's okay.
They weren't good, and that's where I started to learn this. Because when I was explaining it to my son, it wasn't like these beings were like good or bad. They just were what they were. However, you know, if it came to it and they had to like harm me or hurt me or something, they would. And it went, and it's not because they're bad or evil, it's just because that's what they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm picking up what you're saying. Do you think you seem to have really good intuition? Do you think you could have good intuition on if a being was like it is what it is, right? But could you pick up on a negative? Like if one was like more negative?
Yes, it's just like with right now, like
question.
with you being human on Earth, you can pick up on vibrations and vibes from either other humans, like, oh, that person just gives me a bad vibe, and then you find out something did, like, I knew it. And same thing with spirits, like, you know, you could have a spirit in the house that doesn't, like, you're fine with it, you know, it kind of gives you that feeling like, oh, we have a ghost in the house, but it doesn't bother anybody. Or you could be in your house and you can feel like that presence, it doesn't feel good, you can feel something watching you. There are entities that I don't know what they are. They're not classified. Like some of them come through, still have like a human feeling to them. Some of these, I don't know what they are, but they're very, very. I guess the only way I can explain it is dark. And I am just protected in myself in the aspect of like, knowing that I'm protected. I'm, and to say it out loud to God, you know, God protect me, Jesus protect me, protected by my guides and protected. You know, again, I'm a human with a physical form and a very powerful mind. By saying those things, I'm already setting that out there, and I'm kind of learning that when I travel, even in physical form, I can kind of you ever, it's like a show with it's I always it's something about Raven, or
That's a Raven?
Yes, That's a Raven.
Yeah.
And like that's the one else, and she gets her visions and she just like stops and like I the same thing, and it's almost like I'm not in my body, like whatever this is. So a lot of it, this is a dimension, and this is a very scary place. We have a physical.
Sure. No, thank you for answering that. Thank you.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate that.
I did. I'm just kind of rambling.
No, please ramble. This is very cool, and I do think, you know, I believe in Jesus protecting, you know, you from bad stuff, and I think that, you know, and guides, and having guides, and making sure that, you know, and they do protect you. I do firmly believe that.
I have, sorry, I have, okay, I struggle with, well, I have bipolar and like schizophrenia, all these other labels. Main thing was like a depression. I've had a lot of suicide attempts, and 2 of them I had CPR done, and another one, and like one time I don't, like, I went to this place, I just call it the void. I don't know what it was. It was like I was kind of expecting to be like, you know, back home, like in heaven and stuff, and all of a sudden I just like am in this vast, it was never ending. You could just, I couldn't see it, but you just fucking know. And it was never ending, and it was black and dark, and there was nothing there. And I thought I could never get out, and I remember being like coming to, and I didn't know what that was. I was on YouTube and I started watching other people, and it's this void. And here I start realizing that people were calling on God, calling on Jesus to get out of this void. And I was like, holy shit, I was fucking there. And I got out somehow. Like, because some other people scarier places. Like, I was just in this emptiness, and it was never ending. It was never ending, and there was nothing there. Nothing.
It's glad to have you.
Eternal unsatisfaction.
Yeah, so that was really scary, to feel like conscious and to be stuck somewhere. I didn't, like, there wasn't running to anywhere because there was no ending.
Right.
And there was nobody there. There was nothing. It was really scary. And so like, that's when people calling God and calling Jesus and out of those places.
And
so
he takes them out. takes them out.
Yeah, there are very, very scary places out there.
Well, I just want to say I'm thankful you're here.
Yeah.
I'm really glad you're here.
Me too, yeah. You were able to share this with us.
It's very cool.
Yeah. Thanks so much. Do you have anything else for us, Raven, that you want to share about this experience? I know you're new to it. Maybe if you ever do get sorry, I'm not using my words right now. Are there any like really profound experiences that you have that like stick out in your memory of places you've gone?
I haven't necessarily like I felt it in a connection.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even explain it. I'm assuming that's what that is where that's where our home is. Whatever this connection is, everyone can connect to it. Everyone can.
Yeah.
Do
you have any tips of how people can connect to it?
I stumbled across this, but a lot of it is God is literally calling on God.
Mm-hmm.
Like asking. We live in a place where we can ask for so many things and we kind of don't. Like,
right?
Like I have access to my guides and I can ask them anything and they give me the answers. And sometimes I realize like I never even asked them.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing here. Like it's just that the mind is super powerful. So as soon as we say, you know what, I want $1 million. I'm going to be a millionaire. What does your mind do? Your mind kicks in. Oh, you can't be a millionaire. That's impossible. That's never going to happen to you. You already talked yourself out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You already talked yourself out of it. So I think if somebody really wants to, you know what, I want to time travel. I want to experience these things. Ask for it. And then don't let the mind take over and tell you that it's impossible. And then I guess, the mind is what kind of messes things up. So even people that want to talk to their spirit guides, like I remember at one point being like, geez, I wish I could talk to my spirit guides. I wish I could hear, I just never, my mind blocked myself. We block ourselves from everything that we want really with our mind. Mm-hmm. So if you want it, don't let the mind block you. You know what? Yeah. Like whatever it is that you like, same thing with, I'm going to be a millionaire. Mm-hmm. Believe it. Don't let the mind stop it.
Yeah, for sure. I am curious. Are you Canadian? Oh,
no,
it sounds like you have a Canadian accent a little bit. That's why I was saying that.
No, but I live in Wisconsin.
Oh, Wisconsin. Okay, that makes sense.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Wisconsin.
Is it cold up there right now?
Yeah, it actually. Well, yeah, it's not as bad. It was a while or a couple days ago. I don't even know. It was cold for a while, and then it got a little warmer. Mm-hmm. But I'm
just curious.
Where are you guys located?
I'm in Colorado.
I'm in Central Florida.
Yeah.
Oh, you're in Florida.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it is. Yeah. It got below 60, and we all put parkas on.
Yeah. In Orlando area, so I know.
I live an hour from Orlando.
I know I love it. We'd be down there. It'd be like 60 something degrees, and we'd be like cold.
Yes, it looks silly. We look silly. We had to pay. Everyone had to pull out their one sweater and their long leggings, which I have 2 pairs, and they come out 3 days out of the year.
There you go.
Raven, I had one last question. Do you think this is special what you can do? Like this is like, yes, I think that everyone has access, like you said, but like it's special that you can do it and you have connected in a way that allows you to it. Do you think like there's a purpose, like you specifically, Raven, like you've been, I believe we're all chosen, but like some people have special gifts. And this is a gift.
Okay, and I see it literally everyone has it. Everyone has it.
Okay.
Everyone can do this. Everyone can experience, because mine, it just keeps growing. Like it just keeps like Do I think I have I'm not sure. I've experienced a lot of bullshit in my human experience also,
Sounds it.
which is going to also, there's a group of humans. Everyone knows that there's humans that literally just function on this earth, and just everything just, they have ups and downs, but everything just happens for them. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
some God, they're always just flowing. And there's some
Yes.
on earth that are going to be like that. And there's other humans where you just feel like, gosh, can't anything just go right for me? Like that type of feeling.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
those
for
humans
sure.
feel like all this stuff is happening from the time you were little, and all those things are happening to you to be able, you go through all that hurt and pain and all this bullshit so that you are able to help others through by experiencing, by already knowing, and like I went through that. So I feel like I went through enough bullshit and learning on this earth dimension that I feel like the purpose is that I felt enough pain and went through enough things that I'm using that I can use that to help people to be able. So I feel like I'm experiencing these things that are literally making me go crazy. I can't talk to you about really outside of my family.
Yeah.
It does get to you. It wears.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure
I'm
it's exhausting.
to be able to help somebody else that's experiencing that they don't know what's going on with them. I just think groups of people on earth that we're all here to do our certain little roles.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
I'm here for a reason right now. I just, you know what I mean? To connect with you, and you're in Florida, you're in Colorado, I'm sitting in Wisconsin, to be able to just, that all happened for a reason.
Yeah,
100%. And
100%.
I'm a big believer in that. That's why I was curious if you had, and yes, maybe it's the purpose is coming, but and maybe the purpose for, like you said, all that bullshit was this, and the revelation is coming, like the revelation, and this is confusing and it's tough and it's weird and it's uncomfortable. And by weird, I don't mean that in a negative sense. I just mean it's very strange. And so like I just truly feel like there is just like such purpose, and like you said, you're gonna help someone, like you're really gonna help someone with this. And I just think that's I think it's so cool. I think it's so cool. Awesome. So just like I just pray you lean into that, like you're so intuitive and you understand that this what we're doing here is bigger than what we are. And I just feel like what you're doing is so big. It's so big.
Yeah.
So I think it's really cool.
Yeah. It's all the way out there through the whole universe and galaxy. That's how powerful this energy is that I'm sending it out there, that I'm going through this because it's not a pleasant experience, but I'm sending this out because it is. Somebody else will hear, somebody, if we're vocal about things, and I will also, and we're all talking for a reason right now. You got answers, I got answers that we all asked within ourselves. And but yeah, no, there's something coming to a head to this, so just have 100%. To wait.
Yeah, totally. Well, thanks so much. I am curious, I just lost my train of thought, but I was curious if we've been asking all recent people this question that we've had on since we're getting into 2024, but if you could pick any fictional character to vote for president, who would you pick and why?
Is fictional real or not real?
Not real.
Any fictional?
Yeah, so any not real character in a book, movie, TV show, made up, whatever. Yeah.
Okay, do you know the character Domo? He's like this Japanese character.
Let me Google really quick. Let's see.
Yeah. He doesn't even talk. He's just the cutest thing.
Oh yeah. Hold on.
Walks around, got this big mouth. He's kind of a monster. Cute. I'd Yeah, I'd vote for.
Yeah. Okay. Just terrorize everyone. Yeah, I could see that. Cool.
He's just
Do you
so
have
cute.
do you have any other last words for us or anything you want to share before
Why
we
were
head
you
off?
travelers?
What?
Why were you looking for time travelers?
Oh, I'm just curious. Our podcast, we kind of do a wide spectrum of things, like kind of like fringe ideas or people, or also just like mainstream. Like the other day, I had like UPS workers on and like miners on. So just trying. I don't know. It's just I was just interested in it, so that's why I guess. Yeah.
Okay, no, that's cool because
Yeah.
I do that with hitchhikers. Like, I literally just pick up like people walking and whatnot, just to hear like a story because they always have some sort of story. You learn. There's always something. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some little scary times, but majority of the time, they're interesting and fun. So cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you coming on, Raven. Thank you.
Well, thank you for finding me. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna close this. Thank you to CD for coming on earlier. Appreciate you. And thanks for helping with these segment parts. And then we have this local artist. He used to go by Grand Daniel, and he now goes by Pickle Walks. But he's an outro song, and it's called Ohio. So thank you so much. Y'all have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Raven. Bye, CD. I'll send you this episode once it's up.
Awesome.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Have a good night.
You too.
Well, everyone, this is going to be an outro, Ohio by Grand Daniel. Yeah, thank you, CD and Raven, for coming on. Thanks, Grand Daniel, for being here for the interesting episode, and thanks for listening to the Baptize Machine. Check out our website, baptizemachine.com, for all our sponsors. Listen to us on Spotify, Amazon Music, or wherever you may listen. The Baptize Machine. Peace out. Bye. We're going to do a song called Ohio by...
Ohio is beautiful, there's cows